Hello and welcome back to 100 Yards of Football, Sports Talk Radio. I'm your producer, Jeremiah Long, and joining me to talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Cleveland Browns in our Week 3 coverage of the NFL, it's our host, Mr. Logan Landers. How's it going, man?
Hey, what's going on, Jeremiah? Talking about some history today. One of the most historic rivalries in all football, the most historic in the AFC, the Turnpike rivalry, the Browns, the Steelers. Jeremiah, they've been going at it since 1950. And we get to add another chapter with these two historic teams this upcoming week. I can't wait to talk more about these historic teams and this amazing game coming up soon.
That's incredible. And to think that these two teams have been meeting long enough that the family rivalries, the house divided, and
Mm-hmm.
I can only imagine some of the weddings that had the Browns versus Steelers, as in full effect at the reception. I can imagine there is a lot of incredible history, not only between these two teams, but between these incredible fandoms and just related to all the amazing players through so many years. So yeah, this is extremely exciting for NFL Week 3. We're so excited to have all of you watching here live or listening to the podcast. And it's just what we do. We just get excited about these different rivalries, about these legacies. And this is really what gets us up every single Monday morning to make sure that you have all the information that you need. So thank you so much for watching. And make sure you like and subscribe our show because we're going to be here bringing you this incredible coverage day after day, week after week. So you might as well be here joining us because we'll be here for you either way. So, Mr. Logan Landers, the Steelers and the Browns, we know they have this history. What do we have to look forward to on this particular matchup?
Let's talk about these Pittsburgh Steelers right now. Both these teams are 1-1 even on the season. Both of them took a loss this past week. And for these Steelers, they faced up against Mac Jones and the New England Patriots. Of course, we all know, led by Bill Belichick. Tough loss in that one, 17-14 final score. Mitch Trubisky had a rough day for him, 21-33 passing, only 168 yards, about a 5-yard average, one touchdown, one pick, sacked 3 times, so just not the greatest day for him. The running game struggled as well for the most part. Najee Harris was the bright spot, 15 carries for only 49 yards, though. They ran for only 91 as a team. And like I said, the receiving core, Deontay Johnson led the way, 6 catches for 57 behind him. Was Harris 5 for 40 with him. And the one touchdown going to tight end Pat Freiermuth right there to help him out. The defense, like I said, pretty good, only allowed 17 points in the ball game. Miles Jack had a tremendous day, 13 tackles for that young man there, looking good. And as for them, right, they struggled. No sacks, no pressures right there. They weren't able to get to Mac Jones, get him down. Only 1 tackle for loss, 5 passes defended, only 3 quarterback hits. So just kind of struggled with the Steelers' offensive line the whole day. Couldn't get a lot of points going there. Minka Fitzpatrick, we know, is kind of emerging as an upper tier corner, up tier safety, whatever you want to call him. And he is looking really good. Got a pick on the day. And like I said, Steelers, tough loss. Only lost by 3, but they did give up. They were fighting in the fourth quarter. They put up 8 points, but it was just not enough, unfortunately, for them. Big keys for this one. Just got to get some more yardage, right? Only 243 yards as a team this past game. Got to get better than that. As for their penalties, they only had 3. That's fine. You can work with that. And as for their third down efficiency, that were pretty good too, 8 of 15. So just got to work on stringing some more drives together, getting some bigger plays, getting some more yardage. And I think that it could be a good day for them this upcoming Thursday night against the Browns. Let's talk about these Browns. Let's switch over to them real quick. Oh, man, that the definition of heartbreak, Jeremiah. They were a big going into the fourth. We all know what happened. Joe Flacco and the crew rallied the troops, got the win. The Jets scored 17 points in the fourth quarter to steal the victory, 31-30, and actually a really good game, actually. Joe Flacco did really good for, someone who no one expected to be as good as he was this year. Over 300 yards on that Browns defense. But talking about these Browns, Jacoby Brissett, decent day, right? 22 of 27, really efficient, 8.5 average, 229 yards, touchdown, 1 interception, only sacked 1 time. The running game looked really good as well with the 2-headed monster of Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. The team ran for 184 yards. The receiving core of Amari Cooper looked vintage, 9 catches for 101 on the day. And the defense, like I said, Jeremiah Wusu-Koramoah led the way with 9 tackles there. Grant Delpit behind him with 8. 2 sacks for them as a team, 5 tackles for loss, and 5 passes defended. No INTs for the Browns, but man, just a late game collapse will absolutely just deflate anything you did earlier in the ball game. It don't matter who you are. In terms of yardage, right there on par with the Jets. The Browns had 405, Jets had 402. Pretty efficient overall, 8-12 on third down. And possession, right? They led in possession, but they still couldn't get the W, unfortunately. 5 penalties, so nothing too crazy there. But man, just a tough loss for this Browns team. They had, they had the lead, they gave it up at the very end, man. The very end. And when I say that, the Jets scored 2 touchdowns in the last minute and 30 seconds. I mean, that is just soul crushing right there early on in the season. But let's talk about these predictions. Like it's a Thursday night matchup here between these two teams. I think I'm going to go with the Steelers right now in a close one. I just don't know if the Browns can be able to bounce back from that tough loss. Like I said, I know the Steelers took the loss as well, but I think they have a better day offensively. So I'm going to go the final score in this one with the Pittsburgh Steelers 28 and the Cleveland Browns 21 for my final prediction for this Thursday night football matchup.
That's incredible. And you think about these legacies, you think about where these teams came from. It's just the amount of history between these teams just really makes this one of the most exciting games we've covered so far this season. And we want to hear from you. What do you think the final score will be? Put it in the comments over on LinkedIn, over on Facebook, and over on YouTube. Of course, if you look at our YouTube, you will get some great conversations going because we've got Cleveland Browns fans in the comments. We've got Pittsburgh Steelers fans in the comments. And if you're listening to our podcast right now, first off, thank you. But if you're not listening to our podcast, come and join us. Just look up 100 Yards of Football. You'll see our 50-yard line football there, brought to you by the Believe Podcast Network. And you can listen anywhere that you listen to podcasts. I like to listen on Spotify. It's my favorite. But a lot of people love to listen to our podcast over on Apple Podcasts. So if you listen over there, thank you so much. Please leave us a review. All of your reviews are the reason that we go up in the algorithm and we become discoverable. So it is really just because of all of your efforts that we've been able to grow so quickly and so much in the last few years. So thank you for that. You can also listen, of course, anywhere else that you listen to podcasts, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, the Believe Podcast Network's website, Amazon, Google, everywhere that podcast exists, we have a presence because we want to be there for you every place and everywhere that you love to listen to the radio and now to the podcasts. So thank you so much for that. And make sure that you do subscribe so that we can get you all of our incredible coverage because we put out a new podcast pretty much every day. So we're essentially always putting out new content for you. So we want to make sure that you understand that we will be there for you, whether you're on your way to work, when you're at work, when you're on your way home, or if your job keeps you in your vehicle all the time. We're going to have amazing coverage for you, and not just of games, but also legacy, incredible information like classic players, history specials, interviews with former players and coaches. Plus, we bring on some of the most incredible other sportscasters from around the world. So that's one thing that we provide for you every single week, and we appreciate all of your support. Well, Mr. Logan Landers, thank you so much for that Week 3 coverage of the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Cleveland Browns. I am your producer, Jeremiah Long, and stay tuned because we'll be back with another live episode right after this.